Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to discuss some of the new models which GW have been putting out. They've actually just put out an article on their website about next week's pre-orders, which is Typhus and some Terminators. So we're going to be speaking about them, looking at them and stuff like that, get some thoughts and feedback about them. I also just want to speak about the whole release of all these new models and stuff, my thoughts and feedbacks on that. I know there's a lot of people which dislike what GW have been doing at the moment. I know it's insane, like, but for me, I think I've loved every last thing that they've put out recently over this past year, months and stuff like that. They have been hitting it out the park with everything. But we're going to discuss that, we're going to talk about that, and yeah, it should be a fun, well, I say it should be a fun video, it should be an interesting video, let's say that. So let's jump in and let's get started. So I think we should start with probably the biggest news, and that is the pre-orders which are going to be up next week. Firstly, let's jump in and let's look at the Terminator squad, which they put on the Warhammer Community website. It's actually up on the screen now if you want to see them, because I'm going to be speaking about them a bit. Now, these guys are just amazing. Really, really amazing. Now, the guy on the top left, we've actually saw him before. He was teased, well, he was put in the teaser trailer for the Deathguard, I think it was a couple of months back now, where we saw like Mortarion and Scythe, like a little preview of it. He was in that trailer, so I definitely saw him. The others I haven't saw before. Well, I lie. I probably have seen these chaps, but in a low resolution image, so I couldn't really see the detail on them. But now that I'm seeing them all in full resolution, I am just completely amazed by the quality that GW have been putting out. Let's just go through all the models before I actually start speaking about like the actual quality and where GW is at the moment. So at the top right, we see like a chap who's got like armor which resembles like a fly, and if I'm not mistaken, he is wielding a Reaper autocannon. It looks amazing, really. I love that armor. As soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, that is really, really cool. It's like a fly kind of esque arm type, which is so cool, so cool. Just below him, we have a chap whose armor is just like breaking apart, splitting apart. He's got like all this kind of warp mutations just ripping through his armor. It actually looks like it's his own little tabard coming down his chest, but it's actually not a tabard. It's just like his skin mutating and just ripping down his body. It looks really, really awesome. And the weapon that he is wearing, I think it's called the Flail of Corruption, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was mentioned in the article. The Flail of Corruption. I don't know really what that does. I actually haven't read the new Deathguard Codex yet, so I'll probably do that for another video. Maybe get that and go through it all and look at some of the stuff, because the Deathguard have some nasty weapons. Which they can use, I've been told. I know I've done some preview videos about the command points and stuff like that, and that was bad enough. I don't think I'm prepared to actually go in and see what they can actually do to me in person. So I'm quite scared with these guys. So yes, that is the Flail of Corruption. Again, an awesome looking model. Like I said, all the armor breaking apart looks incredible. Then you have the actual flail itself, the movement of it, or like the warp fire coming out of it. Oh, so incredible. Absolutely amazing model. Then below that chap, we have well, I say this in a bad way, but it looks like an average Terminator, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, you know, the other models are so well done, it makes this guy look kind of average, but he, you know, average not in a bad way. He still looks amazing, but not as amazing as the other guys. So it looks like he's wielding a combi bolter, if I'm not mistaken, and a power sword or some kind of sword. But yeah, again, another amazing model. And to the left of him, we have more or less the same. He's got a few mutations. If you actually look just under, well, just like where his belly is, it's like a little nurgling popping out, smiling. Again, I love all that kind of stuff. Hilarious. Amazing, amazing, amazing job. Now, I just want to speak about what GW have been doing with their models, and the way that they've been making the quality, or, well, I personally feel over the past couple of years, just explode. It has been just a wonderful experience to watch the quality jump within a couple of years. Now, this is all down to CAD. Now, for those of you who don't know what CAD is, it's computer aided design. So basically, you design this stuff on computers and stuff, and you can have many more options. In the old days, you basically sculpted the models by hand, but now you all do it on computers. I remember using CAD when I was in high school. That's going way back, and that was like just at the start when CAD was first coming around. And I remember my teacher telling me that, well, yep, CAD is going to be the future, and of course, the future is here, and it's arrived in model form for us hobbyists. So yeah, the quality of the models, I personally feel, have just exceeded my best expectations. I think they've done a cracking job at just making everything just that much better than I could possibly imagine. Like, I actually had some of the old stuff, and then comparing some of the old like Terminator models to these Terminator models, there's just no comparison. These chaps are just kings. I know a lot of people love some of the old stuff. I'm not going to bang on the old stuff. It's just like the way that GW is going now with the quality, for me, is just fantastic. I just love it. Now, of course, not everyone likes this. I've actually had some debates and some disagreements with people over on social media about that. They feel like the models are far too busy, and when I mean by busy, it means that there's far too much going on with the model, and they feel like that takes away from the model. Personally, for me, I love that. I actually love the model to be busy. I love so much things going on the model that it's hard to focus on one thing because there's so much awesomeness going on. Like when I look at this picture, my eyes are just bouncing around on all of the Terminators because I feel like there's just so much greatness in every model, and like there's just different bits of greatness in every model. So my eyes like just bouncing around, just trying to focus on all the greatness. And it's something where you can just sit down and take in the model and look at the model for a couple of minutes and find different bits on the model when you come back to look at it. I personally think that is great from GW. Now, of course, like I said, a lot of people disagree with that. They like nice plain models. They just want it to be nice and simple. A lot of people I've saw saying the actual 40k models are going far too cartoonish. They're not very grim dark anymore. It's going to like Saturday supervillain kind of thing where it's like meh and stuff like that. So I can kind of see the point with that, but I'm still on board with like these models are still grim dark for me. I think it's mainly sometimes it's down to the paint job people put on the models. Like GW have always been a very, how can I say it? They've always painted their models bright and with very eye appealing colours to what I personally feel to attract you to the model straight away. Now there's other people that do them with very dark tones and stuff like that, and again that brings the grim darkness into it. But for the models themselves, I think the models are grim dark. I think they're awesome. I've never really looked at a 40k model. Well, some of the newest 40k models, I think, wow, yeah, those guys are very cartoony. But hey, people have different opinions, and you just have to respect that as long as they respect yours. But personally, I love the way GW are going with their models. I think they've done a cracking job, like I just said before, and I hope to see more. I'm really hoping that like this is like the start now of, well, this is the foundation of the level of awesomeness GW will bring to the table, and they just keep building and building and building on this, and then we just keep getting more incredible models coming through each year and stuff like that. From what I've heard through the grapevine, in 2018 it's got to be the year of the Xenos, so I'm hoping that some of you Xenos players start getting some new models to start updating your armies and stuff, because I know that there's some armies out there which definitely need updating model wise. So I'm hoping that you chaps will get your wishes and you can join in on the party of these awesome looking models. Right, let's move swiftly on to the new Typhus model, which is also previewed in this as well. So when I actually saw this in the lower resolution form, and I thought it was a great model then, and now that I'm seeing it in the high resolution form with all his little trinkets and stuff, I think it's even a greater model. I absolutely love this model. I know a lot, again, I spoke to a lot of people, I've got a lot of feedback off social media, and a lot of people do prefer the old Typhus model. A lot of people actually prefer the 30k Typhus model from Forge World. I know he hasn't got like a lot of mutations on him, but people actually prefer that model, and they're saying to me that they're actually going to use that model in their 40k armors, which is fine. You know, that's personal preference to people. But personally, for me, I think this is a cracking looking model. I love his pose. I absolutely love his pose. Like, he's got his scythe in the air. I don't know if he's like taunting someone, or he's like, you know, come at me, bro. You know, this is mine now. You know, I don't know what the pose is supposed to be, but I think it's an amazing looking pose. And then everything just about the model itself. Now, I'm going back to the subject that this is a very busy model. There's a lot going on with the model, and I absolutely love it. From everything from like his loincloth, look at like all the bells, like all the little sigils, the chainmail on his loincloth, again amazing. His knee pads with the, you know, all the little cracks in it, or the like the decay and stuff, up onto his belly with the little nurgling. His like belly's like all rotting and stuff. It looks like he's got like all pus-filled balls. He's got like a ton of flies flying around him from all the smoke and the ventilations coming from him. It's just an incredible, absolutely incredible model. I probably said incredible too many times, but I love it. Again, it just goes to show the quality of what GW are doing these days, and I'm absolutely in love with it. One of the biggest things that really I would say that annoys me is that I wish that stuff like now, this is probably just going to go off topic a little bit. This is going to be a little bit of a, I won't say a rant, but something that just, yeah, okay, let's call it a rant. Is that I wish Space Marine characters got more love and attention like this model. Now, what I mean by that, like people like Helbrecht and stuff, Vulcan, Hestan and stuff like that, those guys have still got all old models, and I don't really see them getting new models anytime soon, since the Space Marine Codex just came out and stuff, and it heavily focused on the Primaris stuff. I was really hoping that maybe this year, or well, maybe along with the Space Marine Codex, that those kind of character models would also get a big overhaul as well, and they would be upgraded to the standard that all these new models are coming out. Maybe that's something in the future they're planning to do, but I can't really see it because I think they've got so much to do this year and next year. I think next year is going to be, well, like I said before, they mentioned it's going to be the year of the Xenos, so they're going to bring in a lot of Xenos updates out, and I think one of the big updates is going to be Orcs. I think Fracas is going to get a model. Personally, I think this is, again, going a bit off topic, I think Fracas is going to become a Prime Orc, so he's going to get a really big meaning, a really menacing model and stuff like that. So I think he's going to be updated along with some of the Orc models as well. So I'm still holding out that some of the Space Marine HQ models would get updated, because I would love an updated like Helmbrecht and stuff like that, Emperor's Champion, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that is my little rant over with. And I told you it wasn't going to be a rant, it was just me speaking from my heart. Now, what does this mean for the future releases now after these go up on pre-order? By the way, these go up on pre-order on Saturday the 23rd of September. So very soon, actually. Very soon. I personally think that October is going to be, well, this month and October is going to see Deathguard releases. After October, I don't think we'll see any more Deathguard releases. I think that'll be the end of the Deathguard. I think then they'll start pushing out some other stuff. It may be Age of Sigmar related, I'm not too sure, but I'm really hoping that the Imperial Guard will kind of get a big release. Now, I'm hoping for some new Imperial Guard models. I know I'm being very selfish, and I am an Imperium fanboy. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I would love the Steel Legion to come out now and be the main Imperial Guard regiment, because Cadia has basically been wiped out. Well, it's gone. Cadia, the planet, is gone. That doesn't mean the Cadian regiments are gone. Of course, some still survived the fall of Cadia. so they're still out and about, but I really wish they would bring a different regiment to the forefront now and have them as the main guys, because I'm a little bit tired of Cadians. I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just, you know, I just wish they'd go with someone else and spice it up a little bit more. What I am hoping for is that we get something similar to, like, you know, chapter tactics, but let's call it Imperial Guard regiment tactics. So, you know, different regiments are really good at different things, just so it makes you want to create a different regiment than just going the bog standard Cadians and stuff like that. I think that'd be a really cool idea. That's what I'm really hoping for anyway, just to something to spice it up a bit more and make it a little bit more tasty. Anyway, that is probably me done for the video. I've been probably speaking for close to about 16 minutes now, just ranting on. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something. I hope I've shown you something new, or I don't know. Whatever you take from it is whatever you take from it, but I hope you've enjoyed the video anyway. So I'll be back again with some more stuff once they start showing us what else is coming. Like I said, please give me some Steel Legion. I would love Steel Legion, and I'm sure most of the people in the comment section as well would love Steel Legion. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, so I hope you've enjoyed the video, chaps. Thank you very much, and I shall see you all very, very soon. See you now, and bye-bye.